A black woman being the real mastermind behind the billion-dollar franchises The Matrix and The Terminator just makes sense. I think now is the perfect time to talk about Sophia Stewart, now that we know more about how Hollywood is run and all the debauchery involved.
So it's spirit and technology. That's what metaphysics is really about.
But where does it come from in your DNA? Your grandparents?
Well, my grandmother, full-blooded Cherokee, she was a shaman. So the oracle is actually created from me. I created those characters, and it's based on myself as a visionary seer.
So in 1981, Sophia creates a package of scripts. It was a whole treatment of scripts, packages, character analysis, character breakdowns, etc. And it's called The Third Eye. I think just hearing her talk about the world, it's pretty clear that the studio stole her IP, intellectual property, because the way that she speaks about it, I have never heard anybody else speak about The Matrix and The Terminator and the way they're linked the way that she does.
So how did you come up with The Terminator? Take us there, and The Matrix.
Very easy. It was a script in a book. The Terminator is the prequels to the beginning of The Matrix. Sarah Connor is actually Neo's mother. So JC, John Connor's Jesus Christ, grows up to be Neo, one and the same in The Matrix. The Matrix is in the future. The Terminator is the past. It's time travel, past, present, and future time travel. It's the second coming of the Christ, the evolutions of consciousness, man versus the machine. So the machines, the Terminator machines, hear that a child is going to be born that's going to terminate them in the future when they oppress man. Because, see, it's a man versus the machine. It's God's children versus man's children, which was technology.
So man versus nature.
Exactly. So the Terminator has to time travel to the past because they know it's Sarah Connor. And they have to kill her, terminate her, so she won't have the baby. And Kyle Reese, he comes from the future to protect her, and he inadvertently gets her pregnant. And he has to go back to the future. And so it's the Immaculate Conception, because now she's pregnant and she fell in love with a man, but did it really happen? Did he exist? And then this child, when you see the three Terminators, the boy, and then the man-child, subconsciously, he doesn't know why the Terminator is trying to kill him until he's hidden out in the city, in the Matrix, the future. When he reaches 30 years of age, the rebellion, the reloaded, revolution starts.
Go listen to that full interview. She explains the whole thing beautifully. She then submits the source work for The Third Eye to 20th Century Fox in 1981, and then she never hears back. So this source treatment too really dove into everything. The terminology, the connections, the whole universe. It was a breakdown of everything. And then in 1986, the Wachowski sisters, then brothers, were looking for a science fiction script that they could turn into a comic book. This is when Sophia submits her work for the second time, but once again, never hears back. So she moves on with her life, and then in 1999 is when she files her first copyright infringement complaint. This is when she viewed The Matrix and the Terminator films for the first time. That's just her timeline. That's when she viewed it for the first time. So the same year that The Matrix was released is when Sophia filed her complaint for copyright infringement. Sophia claims that her source material and her treatments were used by the studio. Like, no compensation, no credit, clearly. After this complaint, she actually contacts Warner Brothers to further make her case. She was actually offered $5 million as a settlement. And she declined because obviously she knew the franchise value was estimated much more than that. She then files a $1 billion copyright infringement lawsuit in 2003 against the Wachowski sisters at the time, the director James Cameron, the producers, and 20th Century Fox. There were actually multiple cases filed on this same issue. So it turns out her legal team was actually in cahoots with the same company that she was suing. So clearly, yeah, So it's been reported that the film The Matrix and Terminator were edited just enough to sort of escape a copyright infringement case. So Warner Brothers' parent company is AOL Time Warner, and this giant owns 95% of the media, so you can make your own connections as to why you haven't seen this in the media. They own New York Times, LA Times, CNN News, People Magazine, Entertainment Tonight, HBO. The list goes on and on, you get it. I'm a filmmaker. This is exactly why all my stuff is copyrighted in a company. That's the only way. Like, my company holds my IP, and that's it. There were actually people in the studio networks that claimed that her work was being used in various pre-production meetings as a template for The Matrix and The Terminator. It would guide the direction that they would take with these films in these meetings. There are a lot of people that still discredit her. They call her crazy. It's the same way that so many have been discredited in Hollywood for speaking the truth. I'm not here to argue with you. Do your own research, but do a lot of research, because there is a reason why you haven't heard this in the media ever. There's a reason why this hasn't been reported on, ever. This is not uncommon. There are unfortunately a lot of loopholes, and we know how evil Hollywood is. They've done a lot worse things than copyright infringement. Sophia even predicted our collective awakening in 2024. She saw the day when we would see the truth about Hollywood, about our conditioning, about our programming. She saw it all. She is the Oracle. To be honest, I don't give a damn what you think about her and if you think she's lying or not. I don't know who can speak this eloquently, that much wisdom about the Terminator and the Matrix to not be the creator. Where was this energy from the Wachowski sisters? Where was it?
People's consciousness will shift and they will go on to create and do better things. They won't be in bondage. And this is the whole purpose of the Matrix and Terminator and the new work that's coming, Matrix. Because man wants to be free. Look, everybody loved the Matrix and Terminator because it woke them up. They didn't even realize they were in the dream.